So let's move on to physiotherapy management. For structural limb length discrepancy, when the limb length discrepancy is less than 2 centimeters, or it can be less than an inch or 1.5 inch, it can be easily managed conservatively. Via, if there is, we can prescribe the patient shoe lifts or inserts. We can do gait training, because if there is any discrepancy, one side of the limb will become weak, one side of the limb will become tight. So we also have to correct that. And also stretching, strengthening exercises to address compensatory imbalances. If the limb length discrepancy is more than 2 centimeters, it may require surgical correction. For example, epiphysiodesis or limb lengthening procedures. Meaning, if you find that the limb length is indifferent with very larger numbers, in such cases, we can refer them to surgical procedures. Epiphysiodesis is basically fusing of the epiphysis in where the growth plate is damaged. Whenever the growth plate is damaged, it goes under inflammation. The inflammation can cause extra bone growth. In such cases, the surgeon usually fuses the growth plate to stop the bony growth. So, in these are usually done in children and adolescents where the epiphysis is not fused. Next part is limb lengthening. When the epiphysis is fused and we are seeing then there is a limb shortening, we can also go with limb lengthening procedures such as Ilizaros, and also pre and post op rehabilitation. We also have to do pre-operative and post-operative rehabilitation when we are referring a patient for surgical correction, because it is very necessary to strengthen the muscle so that the surgery doesn't have that much impact on the patient. For functional limb length discrepancy, we have to basically find the underlying cause which is causing the limb length discrepancy. If it is muscle imbalance, if there is tight iliopsoas or chordatus lumborum, which is basically tilting your pelvis upwards and causing one side of the limb to appear short, we have to basically work on those muscles. We can do stretching of iliopsoas, we can do muscle releases so that the muscles are lengthened. Joint mobility restrictions, for example, SI joint function. If your back is stiff, if your SI joint is stiff, if your hip is stiff, in such cases, joint stretching, joint mobility, joint mobilizations, we can go ahead with these procedures to basically address these issues and correct the imbalance. Or pelvic or spinal alignment issues. In such cases, if the pelvis is tilted, if the spine is not straight, for example, if we have scoliosis, we have to basically follow a procedure where we are basically following a rehabilitation for the scoliosis. When the scoliosis, if the scoliosis is functional, we can correct the imbalance, and then ultimately the limb length discrepancy will also get corrected. We also have to work for the gait, because in lower limb, if there is limb length discrepancy, the gait of the patient will also get alterated. So we have to normalize gait. We have to also reduce pain or discomfort which can be associated with such imbalances. We have to also prevent secondary musculoskeletal issues such as low back pain or scoliosis. So, in such cases, if there is any imbalance, there are asymmetrical forces on your spine, on your joints, which might trigger inflammation and which might give patient a lot of secondary musculoskeletal issues. In such cases, we also have to treat those issues along with your limb length equalization. And lastly, improving the functional mobility and quality of life of the patient. So the summary of the lecture: if the discrepancy size is less than 1 centimeter, often no treatment is needed. We can just observe and monitor. Observe and monitor, especially in cases of adolescents and children where the epiphysis is not fused. If the discrepancy size is from 1 to 2 centimeters, we can correct it with shoe lifts and physiotherapy. If the discrepancy size is from 2 to 5 centimeters, we can also correct it with shoe lifts, physiotherapy, or we can also consider surgery. We have to decide from case to case. And if it is more than 5 centimeters, it requires surgical correction. So these are the references that you can go through for limb length. And yes, thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Vidya ma'am, for this amazing session.
Yes.
There is one question. What can we do if there is someone with disability? How can we assess in that case?
Disability, there is like a proper disability pro forma that we have to follow in such cases. We have to see disability actually है कहाँ, upper limb है कि lower limb है. Disability है, we have to calculate the percentage of disability. If it is an amputation disability, you have pre-decided percentage of disability. In such cases, you usually measure the length of the limb, because in these cases, we need to decide if there is any prosthesis which is coming in. If we have to do a rehab for a prosthetic fitting, in such cases, limb length is very important, because we have to give those findings to the prosthetician or to the orthotician to decide
Yes.
for the prosthetic fitting. Yes.
Thank you. So, yes, this was a great session. So, thank you so much, Vidya ma'am.
Yes,
And
my pleasure.
I would like to thank Manisha Sangvi ma'am as chairperson SHA and Apurva sir, principal SHA. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for Physio TV for having me and giving me the opportunity to conduct this lecture and share my knowledge on limb length.